Welcome back, everyone. It is Thursday, December 26th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. Before we dive into our picks today, I do want to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm a little under the weather today, but hey, we can still lock in, get you some three winners, and go for the sweep today. Now, hopefully you guys had a Merry Christmas, as mine wasn't the greatest, given I've been sick the last 48 hours. But hey, I digress. Let's recap how we did on Christmas Day. Pretty dang good day for us. A 4-1 day over the last 10 days, 22-12. So been a pretty good stretch over these last 10 days, up 10 units. You look at the winners, Anthony Edwards over in points. Joel Embiid was an absolute miracle. He got fouled with 3 seconds left. It shouldn't have been that sweaty, but it is what it is. Austin Reeves' assist line was free. He got a triple-double. MPJ under 2.5 assists. I think he had 0 at halftime. He ended up with 2. And then our first pick of the day actually was Jalen Brunson's over in threes. He went 0 for 5 from the three-point line. So, hey, we certainly will take a solid 4-1 day. Would I have liked to sweep? Yeah, but hey, 4-1. Let's keep things moving. Today I got 3 picks, a couple unders here and there, and then we're going to dive into get on out of here. I appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. Do me a favor, go down below, like, and subscribe. As I said at the top of the show, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. We're going to dive into the picks in just one moment. Later on today, we should have our NFL video for Thursday Night Football Live. Yeah, go check that out. But either way, let's dive in the first pick of the day, and it begins with an under. I know no one likes unders, but hey, over the next month and a half, as we head into the All-Star break in February, unders are going to smack a lot. There's going to be a lot of blowouts. I hear a lot of guys, especially veteran players in the NBA, always talk about how the stretch in January going into the All-Star break is always the toughest. It's hard to stay locked in those like 15-ish games. So, hey, we'll see, and hopefully we'll take a lot of unders, and hopefully they smack, but I won't just take only unders. Let's keep that in mind. But let's dive in the first one. Tyrese Haliburton under 3.5 made threes at minus 140 on DraftKings. All of the picks scrolling down below at the bottom of the screen for you guys to keep up. Now, if you look at Haliburton this season, and I'll be using our trusty friend Props Madness. I've been using them the last few days, and I think you guys enjoy seeing the Props Madness site. Now, you look at Haliburton, though, recently. Under in 14 of 27. This is technically only on the over. If we look at him, though, he's over in 4 of his last 5. Now, he did go under against the Warriors, went 2 for 7 from the three-point line. Did take advantage of some bad matchups here. Now, if we look at how Haliburton scores, because kind of taking his under in threes is very similar to the under in points, 34% of his points come as the pick-and-roll ball handler, where the Thunder, who he faces today, rank 3rd defensively. Sure, get some spot-up opportunities and transition. The Thunder ranks 2nd there as well. And then if we go dive into some stats even more, where does Haliburton shoot all of his threes? Well, you see it right here, 54%, bright green, all above the break three-pointers. Well, unfortunate for him, Oklahoma City Thunder rank 1st defensively against the above the break three-pointer. They are really good at slowing down guys that shoot from there. And if you look at it, this is a pull-up jump shots. You can see this pull-up shooting. Haliburton leads the Pacers in pull-up shots. Not a big surprise. He always has the ball in his hand. 6.1 three-point attempts per game from the three-point line on pull-up jump shots. He only attempts like 8.6 threes per game. Well, where does that kind of struggle is because the Thunder, 2nd fewest pull-up jump shots from the three-point line allowed, and they're the 2nd fewest attempts. So they're not even giving up a lot of attempts. And when guys are attempting them, you see them shooting 28%. So again, a really tough matchup here. Oops, just glitched my screen. Really tough spot here for Tyrese Haliburton. I just don't know if he makes these threes. Now, I think the Pacers can cover here. They're only 5-point dogs. But, man, I don't know if he's the one that's covering with the three-pointer. So I think he's probably has a great day dishing the ball. He's pretty good at getting those catch-and-shoot guys involved. So maybe we look at those guys to make threes, not Tyrese Haliburton. So I don't mind fading him here. I don't know if I love the under in points because it's like, what is it, 16, 17 and a half. So, I mean, if he makes 4 threes, he's probably already hit that, but there's plenty of opportunities where he could get to the free throw line because Lou Dort's being coming on screens too hard and maybe foul him on threes. I don't know. I'd rather take the under in threes. Is it a little bit juiced? Yes, at minus 140. Maybe you could put a same game parlay piece in there like SGA to score 20 points. That should reduce your juice on this one. SGA is going to score 20 against the Pacers. They don't play defense. So I really do like the spot, though, to fade Tyrese Haliburton, take his under in three-pointers, and I think that is a winner. Now my second play is going to be an over. And it's going to be a guy that I honestly don't know if we bet on this season. Maybe once. Actually, no, we have bet on him once. It was for three-pointers. It is Jerami Grant. I like his over 13.5 points, which is currently minus 110 on DraftKings. I really like the spot here at 13.5. I got to take a stab at Jerami Grant. Do I think he's the best player in the world? No. But I do think he's better than 13.5 points per game. So, and he shows that on the season. If you look at Jerami Grant, he's averaging 15.1 points per game. He's over this line in 15 of 27 games. So not too shabby. You see 13.5, minus 110, minus 110. Obviously, if you were betting on Jerami Grant the last few games, you'd be like, Austin, what the hell is he doing? He scored 13, 5, and 3 points. Now, he has shot pretty poor, 1 for 7, 2 for 12, and 4 for 14. So that's not going to cut it here. Obviously, we need him to shoot a little bit better here, but I love the spot in the matchup for him against the Utah Jazz. Now, not only is this game a high total, you look at where he scores his points. 38% as a spot-up shooter. They rank 12th there, but I'll talk about that in a second. I think that might be a typo or something. But transition, 17%. They rank 30th. And again, where he scores his points, 37% as above the break three-pointers. Well, the Jazz 29th there. They're pretty bad in the corners where he gets some opportunities there too. And again, if you look at how many shots he attempts, 6.3 catch and shoot three-pointers per game. So he's not like Tyrese Haliburton where he's shooting a bunch of pull-up shots. It's a lot of catch and shoot. 6.3 per game, making 2.3 of them, 37%. Well, here you go. Utah Jazz, most catch and shoot threes allowed in the NBA. 11.3 per game. They allow the most attempts as well, about 38% shooting. So again, if we look at their head-to-head matchups, I believe this should be him. He played him earlier this season. He scored 19, 6 of 11. They lost by 42 points in that game. If you look at his history, though, he's hit this in 10 of his last 11 versus Utah. Keep in mind, some of those games were not with the Blazers. I think 5 of 6 with Portland. And one of those games, the games he went under, he had 9 points, and he shot 1 for 9. So, again, I think this is a great spot to back him. I don't love the Blazers, I'll be honest with you. Kind of hate their team, but I really think this is a great spot to back Jerami Grant to get us 14 points. I just think that's way too big of a discount. I'd still play it at 14.5 if that's all you got. I really think he's like an all or nothing guy. So he's either going to get us 15 points or he might end the night with 7. And you're going to be in my comments yelling at me why we're betting on Jerami Grant. Hey, we'll take a chance there. I like this over at 13.5 points for Jerami Grant. And then my third and final play of the day, not going to force many plays into this in this 9-game slate, I believe is what it is. It's another under, and I really think this one's a solid one. And it's Jaylen Suggs of the Orlando Magic under 21.5 points, minus 110 on DraftKings. Now, DraftKings was the only book hanging a 21.5 line when I was looking at it this morning. I still would play it at 20.5. I think Suggs either soars over or he doesn't go over any of his lines. But again, I really like Jaylen Suggs under. Now, if we're just looking at this from a game perspective, we have a low total in the 208s against Miami. And these teams obviously just played a few days ago. Scene of the crime pick. You remember if we were on Magic or Heat plus 3.5, they led by 22 going into the fourth quarter, only scored 8 points, choked as hard as I've ever seen a team choke, and they obviously lost the game. So they're coming in here with a little bit of momentum, trying to get a revenge spot. Also, Jimmy Butler news. He apparently wants to be traded. I don't know. He's probably not playing tonight. Oh, well. But either way, and my last note is, sure, the Orlando Magic are banged up, but they are pretty healthy on their guard size. We're talking about Anthony Black. We're talking about KCP, Cole Anthony. So in terms of guards, they're healthy there. They're just not healthy in the front court where they have all their bigs and Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and whatnot. But I like fading him here. I just don't see him getting a huge amount of minutes, especially given that the Magic do play tomorrow against the New York Knicks. And so I like fading Jaylen Suggs here, and I'll kind of talk about the numbers behind it. Now, it's hard to really give you a bunch of stats here. It's like, if I'm like, hey, look, he's under in 20 of 27 games. He stinks, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we have to keep in mind they had a lot of games where Jaylen Suggs was playing with Banchero or Franz Wagner. If you were to separate it to where we're talking about Franz and Paolo Banchero both inactive, you look at him, he's under in 3 of 5. Now, he did go over against Phoenix, made 4 of 10 threes, sure. And then he went over against the Bucks where he scored 32. Couldn't miss, I think, in the fourth quarter in that game. Last 3 games, though, he struggled a little bit. 9 points against the New York Knicks, 4 for 19. That's pretty bad. 9 points against OKC. Did get injured in this game. And then 16 against Boston. Again, only 29 minutes in that one. So they kind of worked him back a little bit from that ankle injury. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get against Miami. And we look at how he scores his points. 24%, his most common method, is in the pick and roll as the ball handler, where they rank 6th defensively, the Miami Heat. Another 22% in transition, where they rank 4th defensively. Now, sure, you could look at spot-up shots, 17%, and you rank 28th. But again, how many spot-up shots is Jaylen Suggs getting given the injuries on this team? Is Anthony Black going to pass it to him and he's going to get a spot-up shot there? Maybe, but when I look at this Miami Heat team, I really think Haywood Highsmith is going to be the guy that's going to defend Jaylen Suggs. So I don't see them giving Jaylen Suggs any spot-up shots. Maybe someone else gets them, like a KCP, who did just burn them. So maybe not KCP, maybe a Tristan Da Silva or a Trevelin Queen or one of those guys are like, you know what? Well, you guys beat us, we'll allow it. We're not going to let Jaylen Suggs beat us. So, again, I think there's a lot of different things that go together into this one. Number one, you have an ankle sprain here for Jaylen Suggs. How many minutes does he get? Number two, we're on a back-to-back. Well, first leg of a back-to-back, do we want to monitor our minutes a little bit, given we have the Knicks on the docket tomorrow? Number three, tough matchup. Getting Haywood Highsmith on him, it's going to be tough for him to score any points. So, again, I really like this spot to fade Jaylen Suggs. I know they're banged up and it can be a little bit sketchy, but I really feel like this line's too high for Jaylen Suggs. So I'll take his under 21.5 points. I'd still play it at 20.5. And then you can put the other picks together in a parlay if you want. Tyrese Haliburton's under in 3-pointers. Jerami Grant's over 13.5 points. Again, apologies for being sick. I probably don't sound the best going into the mic, but I appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. I will have an NFL video live later on today with some NFL picks. Again, appreciate you guys again for tuning in. I've not felt well the last few days, but hey, the picks have been turning green. That's all that matters. Let's try to go 3-0 today, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow with some more picks. If you want to check out my NFL picks in the Seahawks-Bears game, I'll link that video somewhere on the screen. Should be live sometime by the latest this afternoon. So, again, appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's Austin. I'm signing out. Peace. Let's have a day. Let's go 3-0, baby. Come on. See you later. Peace.